Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And the whole thing.
I see more Eagles wins than I do Flowers wins.
Yeah. It had in the middle of my natural nail. I must have worn it down too far. Now they bump it. And I had this, and then the nail clutch is like pushing through. And I was just like, don't look at it. I wouldn't even let them go there. I'm like, don't even look at it. It's gotta grow out.
Yeah, no, mine was just a beautiful project. Yeah, like I said, she did some kind of like liquid stuff and then a little bit of powder stuff and, you know, whatever.
Oh, so it gives her a perspective. That's a good idea.
Hey. And then I just walk by and go, oh, hi, John.
Really better than they did.
That did a photo for her birthday. She did a photo. She's like in her 20s, I think, or something like that. She did a photo shoot like a baby would do.
Oh,
It was so funny. Too much.
I never. I mean, I remember back when they used to put like engagement announcements in the paper and it was like just some picture, somebody snapping a picnic or something. It wasn't all this professionally done stuff, you know?
There was tweeted on Facebook when they had a little dog. It looked like a baby, little dog or a pug or something that was out in the backyard in this mud hole.
Oh, God.
It was having a great time in the mud hole, and then it came to her, and all of a sudden the camera goes and we jumped up on it.
Covered her all in blood. Jeez.
Puppies are cute.
So our kids.
My job is to enjoy my neighbor's dogs. I have a dog.
Oh, good. Was it Cooper and? He needs some alone time. He needs to be away from the herd.
What was I gonna do with him?
No, I don't see a sign of nurses paper it up.
People go around work. I went to work today, I looked down and I grabbed something. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You would have thought I was a house of cats.
Yes. I can remember like waiting to set up my pants on, so I don't sit down on the bed again, sit on a chair that had, you know, I mean, it was like, I would walk around in just my panties and like, stuck their pants on, and go out the door, and I'd still get camera on me.
What's wrong? What is it? What's it? Flu or something? That was every month. Sure. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Way too young, but he was hard to think. He's been sick for a while. She did that. I love it.
Yeah, he does with his
Room, good room. I've never seen that room. Her house either. But it was just. Yeah, it's been a long time.
He's just not. Also dressing.
You have to first.
Even at the time he's more.
30 days. Now.
Comes down the past when he was the mayor.
We had a premonition that was going to be or something.
Didn't have anything.
Diabetes was a boss. Did you read my black photo just or just for the share?
Just sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
We will call to order the Morrisville Borough Council agenda meeting of January 8th, 2019. If I could ask everyone tonight, we'd like to have remembrance for two very special people from the community. when we do our moment of silence. One will be in remembrance of Sam Snipes. He was a ninth-generation Bucks Countyan and co-owner of Snipes Farm in Falls Township. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know Mr. Snipes and the many years of fun times at the farm, which is still a working farm today. We all remember him from summer seat and how many carriage rides there were bringing the George Washington to Patriots Day and years ago even in our parades. Sam's legacy will live on with his beloved preserve farm, as well as the many organizations, too numerous to even mention tonight, that he was part of through the years. A life well lived at 99 years, but he will be sadly missed by everyone. Also, special remembrance tonight, and very sad, the passing of Ivan Colin, who passed away on Sunday unexpectedly. Ivan served the Morrisville School District, its students, and the entire community his entire life. He was a coach, a paraprofessional, and school board director. Everyone remembers Colin for the Grillin' Guru. How many times we've all had burgers and dogs of he had done through the years, and how many times we remember seeing all the different events that he participated in. He will also be very sadly missed and remembered by many in town. So if we could please remember their families, our condolences to the families and all the many, many friends of both of these gentlemen. So if we could please stand for a moment of silence for them and then our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If we could have a roll call, please, Virginia.
Councilman Bowers?
Here.
Councilman Dreyfus?
Here.
Councilman McCarnagle?
Here.
Councilman Larison?
Here.
Councilman May?
Here.
Councilman Parker?
Here.
Councilman Smith?
Here.
Councilman Yeager?
Here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll begin. Do you want to talk, I'm sorry, you want to talk about these first, Scott, about?
Sure.
Okay. First one is our announcement and presentation, so the manager will speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, item 4A, the Bucks County Redevelopment Authority. I believe that's actually going to take place at one of your February meetings.
Okay,
So we'll move that off the agenda instead of having it on for the 22nd. And item 4B, I believe the borough engineer is going to attend your January meeting for a presentation.
okay. All right, thank you.
Do you know what the presentation's on? Is it specific or just?
Priorities for the year and a summary, a wrap-up of 2018.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to public
Madam
comment.
President, if I may,
I'm sorry, sure.
I have put in a request for an acknowledgement to Troop 3 Scouts.
Okay,
Can we please add that to the presentations?
okay. And you, I saw in an email you sent information, or they sent information over to the borough manager, correct?
It was sent, yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just, we'll still have them too. We'll just move up the borough engineer first, unless you would like to have that done first, and then the engineer. Would that be better?
It's at your leisure.
Okay, we'll put them maybe on A first. Okay. And now we'll move on to public comment. I'll remind everyone we have a 3-minute limit. If you could stay within that. The first person is Kurt Hawthorne. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Kurt Holt-Henricks, 300 Melvin Court North. Happy New Year to all in council, solicitor, borough manager. I also want to offer condolences to the Snipes family. We see Melanie and Jonathan at Rotary. It's a big loss to the community. Mr. Snipes was a wealth of history, and the few times I had a chance to talk to him was a privilege just to hear him tell stories of days gone by. It's a big loss. Another big loss was losing Ivan. He helped out NNO with the Grown Guru early on, big part of the community. That's a big loss, and our thoughts and prayers go with the family as they go through this time of loss. Moving on to business, I was hoping the mayor would be here to defend his actions at the end of last year, his stunt, this protest that cost us thousands of dollars at the end of the year. Shameless. And it was quite honestly embarrassing that it was supported by anyone, let alone voted to have to go to Doylestown and bring in our solicitor and his staff on Christmas Day away from their families was wrong. Voting for it to uphold the veto and have to take it to Doylestown was wrong. And it was a ridiculous stunt that cost us thousands of dollars. Thank you.
Thank you. Holly Harmon, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Holly Harmon, Hillside Avenue. I want to echo Kurt's sentiments about a calculated veto that did rob some people of the enjoyment of their Christmas with their family. I, again, am disappointed, but not surprised that the mayor's not here to defend his actions. And I also am happy that it was resolved quickly and with no cost to the taxpayer and raise taxes. However, I'm sure in the end, the bill is going to be a nice surprise and another little kink in the budget. So thank you for taking care of everything and looking out for the taxpayer. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will close public comment at this time. Okay, next thing we have on our agenda is approval of our minutes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 of them coming up. So the council has, if anyone hasn't received all of these in their packet, some came the week before, some came this week, please check your box and make sure that you got them so that you can review them. If there's anything you notice on there needs to be changed or adjusted, please notify the administration about so that can be changed before the meeting. I don't think anyone has anything to comment about the minutes tonight. Same thing, your finance report. You're going to have the treasurer's report is the financial statement. It's your running budget, so take a look at that. And then we'll be also call for the motion to pay the bills. So please look at your bill list when that comes out. We have 2 weeks between now and the actual council meeting. So make sure you take a look at that. And if there's anything you need to have clarified, please contact the office and ask them about it. Next will be the mayor's report. He isn't here tonight. Would you want to comment on what he sent you in an email?
Yes, if I may. In your folders tonight, you'll see a communication from the mayor about pulling an item that he had previously requested you consider tonight. We're reversing that and going back to original course and asking council to consider the appointment of a part-time police officer at tonight's meeting.
Okay.
I got word from the mayor, unfortunately, late in the day today, but I did tell him I would bring it up and see if you were comfortable approving that tonight.
Okay. All right, I'll ask the council, would you like to put this up for a vote tonight? Have this actually back on?
I'm okay with it.
Instead of waiting 2 more weeks for that to happen?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so on the action items, do you want me to just add on to a separate spot on his?
Well, this is your agenda for the 22nd. It's not your agenda for tonight, so.
We'll just do a separate.
Anyone can just make the motion, call for the appointment of Gary Zampano as a part-time police officer.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. for the hire of Gary A. Zapano, as a part-time police officer. Any questions on this motion?
Madam President, point of order, public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Open up public comment on this since it wasn't on the agenda. Anyone would like to come to the podium?
Well, there actually isn't an agenda for tonight.
Well, still want public
we're
comment
good
on
on
it, right? Okay. Anyone want to remark on it since it was just added tonight? No? Okay. All right, then. Anyone else have any comments on it? Thanks, Justin. All right, then, can we have a roll call on this, please?
Councilman Bowers?
Yes.
Councilman Drive?
Yes.
Councilman Chronicle?
Yes.
Councilman Larison?
Yes.
Councilman Nick?
Yes.
Councilman Parker?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smith?
Yes.
And Councilman Nagle?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Thank you, everyone. I think that's the only motion we will actually be voting on tonight. There's no junior council report on the action items. This one, the first one is actually 9A. Everyone got this information. I think it was given in your packet again this past week, and this is just to approve the parade route for Winterfest. It will be held this year on December 7th. It's also being sponsored by Hot Rides LLC of Morrisville. So I don't think anyone has any questions on that, right? It's pretty standard. Okay, next after that is we have appointments coming up. It's quite a few of them. There's a couple of them. There's actually the library one. I'm gonna actually contact the librarian about because we weren't sure of the names. Someone we think moved. We want to make sure of the position, how many there actually is, because we've had 3 different names come in on that. So we may make an adjustment on that because we think there's 2 positions actually open for it, but we'll clarify that this week since we're just now going over that and making a list of who applied for what.
Plus, there's another vacancy on that board opening in, is it March or May?
It's March, and we think that's the woman that moved. That's what we have to clarify because we had a position that's actually open now. It was expired in December, and then the other one would be March. I think it was March 1st. So. But she hasn't given an official letter in to us saying that she has moved. So that's what we're going to clarify. And if that's the case, then the position would be open there too. So we'll look at that and then straighten that out before the meeting in the next couple of weeks. Unless someone else has something else they want to add to the agenda, that's really basically all this is. Everyone has gotten all of the letters for all of the appointments. Please go over them.
Actually, Madam President, I was handed a new one just at tonight's meeting.
Okay.
So we'll be circulating more letters as they come in.
Okay.
And that was a question that the staff wanted to clarify with council. Since your meeting is still 2 weeks away,
Okay.
do you wish for us to continue accepting letters of interest, or do you feel you have a sufficient candidate pool at this point?
I would say that if they come in, I'd like to see them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I think there's 2 in our packet tonight, correct? That I remember seeing, right? 2 other ones?
I believe there were 3 in your folder tonight.
Okay, 3.
That were
Okay.
late arrivals.
Okay.
They missed your Friday delivery.
Okay. All right. Everyone, please check your packets. Check what you have here tonight. Read over everything. We'll clarify some of these positions to make sure how many are actually open. I think the other one I want to clarify also was the MEAC. I'm not sure there whether someone had actually moved on that board also, so that's another one I'm going to speak with Debbie Colgan about. Make sure how many positions are actually open, because I think 3 people applied for that. One has actually asked for reappointment and 2 other positions, so I just want to make sure how many there actually is so we know when we go to place the votes. I'll find that out and then we'll clarify for everybody. Is there anything else that anyone would like to discuss tonight?
I just have a question on the Economic Development Corporation. I don't believe we have anybody that has put in a letter of interest for that.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we had one that won reappointment.
It was in
You're talking about EDC, right?
Okay, it's the one we got
I
tonight.
think it was all on one, I think it was all on one letter.
Actually, the letter you're talking about, Madam President, if you notice, she asked for reappointment to one and not to be reappointed to the other.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, then I need to reread
I missed that too until Ms. Larison pointed it out to me.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, then I missed it also. And I there might have been one other letter came in tonight.
There was.
Was there? Okay. So we need to look them all over. Make yourselves a list as to who's on what board, who you'd like to call and call and speak to. And then we'll clarify how many positions are actually open on each one of those boards, so we know how many nominations will go up for each one. And there might be more come in before then, since we have 2 weeks before our next meeting. Okay, I really don't have anything else.
Oh, I did when I came in.
Do you have anything, Scott, under unfinished business, new business? I don't believe so. Right?
I do not, unless you have questions for me.
No, that would be it.
I just
I have one
have,
question.
Sure.
Christmas trees. Will the borough be picking them up? Will Waste Management be picking, or not Waste Management, Republic be picking them up? Because I noticed in some areas they did pick them up, in other areas they didn't.
I believe Republic is picking them up, yeah.
Are they? Okay, thank you.
Is there a set like day? It just goes out with regular trash?
I think any trash day you put it out, they'll take it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Okay.
I had a question for Scott regarding code enforcement. If we hypothetically were to go with our own in-house code enforcement officer, what percentage or dollar amount would you ascribe to an employee in terms of benefits? What would the cost be in addition to salary?
So you're talking about for a full-time position?
Correct.
Yeah, 30 to 35% of salary is typically the.
Okay. I was figuring about 40%. I came up to, what I did is I went on to the UCC website, and they have a list of code enforcement people that are certified in every category. And so what I did is I went down the list and found people that were certified in every category that we would need, and then backed into it and contacted them and the municipalities that they work for. I started out in Carlisle and kind of worked our way back to Upper Dublin was the last one I contacted. Their code enforcement officer there is making about $75,000 a year with all certifications. So if we add even at 40%, that takes us to $105,000 a year. Based on what we're budgeted for this year at 156, we're looking at about a $51,000 a year savings for the taxpayers. So, Mike?
Hi, Dave.
I saw you reaching for your microphone.
No. I think we're about to close, I believe.
Okay. So I just wanted to, put that out there. I'll bring it up at the regular meeting. Those numbers, and I can.
That's quite an extensive survey.
I did. I wanted it to try to be thorough. Carlisle Borough. They were they're just getting ready to hire a code enforcement officer. They're at $22 to $30 an hour range for those qualifications. What some municipalities did, they also, if they hired somebody that didn't have 100% of them, they offered incentives, salary incentives, to bring them up to speed. Yep. So anyway, I think that's an option that we are going to need to take a look at. It'll be about a $50,000 a year savings to the taxpayer potentially. So, and the reason I went that way is the code enforcement website, it's 47 pages long of people that are certified with their certification codes. So going down the list and trying to find people that are certified in everything, I just went to the first one, and the first one happened to be out in Carlisle. So.
Do they use a third party, do you know of, for the UCCs?
No, their people are certified under that. What I did find in almost every municipality and borough, and Keystone does it as well, is they sub out for the electrical. Mm-hmm. What's that?
But it's not public comment?
Just fair, to be fair, Keystone subs out for electrical now.
Right, so you'd have to subtract that cost from the 156,000.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Or add it to your 105.
Well, no, because what the other municipalities are doing is they're actually charging for the electrical inspection. So it's not coming out of their line item.
So do we.
They're charging the person that needs the inspection for the electrical inspection.
Separate UCC is.
Pardon me?
That's what the separate fee is for that, did I believe?
The only thing we don't charge for is code enforcement. No one does. It's a cost. It's never a financial gain. The other items that we charge for are UCC and permit based. And they are covered now that we've changed the fee schedule.
Well, what I'm pointing out is other municipalities.
And to my knowledge, I don't know that we've ever had a full-time code enforcement officer. I believe we've always had a part-time one.
Well, that's what
So
we
I'm
have
not sure
now
why
because
we're
Keystone is
upgrading
only
that.
here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Well, actually, that's incorrect. Keystone is here every day.
Are they putting in?
Particular person you're referring to at Keystone is not here every day, but
Are they-
Keystone is present in the building every day of the week.
Are they putting in full-time?
No, of course not.
Okay, that was my thing. It's not full-time. If we have our own person, it would be a full-time 40-hour week, Monday through Friday. They would be here every day and very consistent hours. But to go back to what Mike was saying, the other municipalities that I spoke to are charging separately for the electrical. Whether we're not doing it or not is neither here nor there. That's what, other boroughs and municipalities are doing. That's something we should consider. I think this would be a big savings to the taxpayer at the end if you crunch out the numbers. I really do.
Did you send any of that information over to Scott?
I will.
Okay.
I literally talked to 2 of the 3 people today.
I'd also be curious to know how that would affect our permit fees because they are in line with what we pay now for services, so we would have to readjust them lower if this cost less.
Well, yeah, that would be a positive for the residents, wouldn't it? They would be paying less for their permit fees?
Yeah, but
Developers.
for the borough, it may equal out,
Well, it depends. Right now,
or
with
maybe less.
Well, yeah, right now with Keystone.
Costs to reassess.
If you look at the history with Keystone, they're doing approximately 60% for the year. Is that about right, Mike?
I believe it came out to close to 70% this year.
Okay, so for the whole year, the permit, so if we had our own employee, he would also be entitled to generate
No.
those revenues also, wouldn't he?
No, doesn't work that way.
Why not?
Because there's multiple people in the process that are assessed within that cost. And that doesn't change with whether we use a service or we use an in-house individual.
You're talking about the permit fees.
I'm sorry. There are other individuals within that process, within the borough, that costs are covered for the work they do on those things. That does not change whether you have somebody in-house or somebody outside.
That's my point.
Okay.
No, because what I'm saying is that whether you have somebody in-house or outside, those permit revenues would still be generated.
Okay.
True?
True.
Okay.
Submit your stuff into Scott.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, we went with the code company. We thought it was a good fit.
Well, I
it's
think,
within what we
and
need,
in
but-
hindsight, given the amount of catch-up that we had to do, I think that was a good thing for 2018. But going forward, I look at, like I said, the cost to the taxpayer here. I think we can do better.
And Madam President, I'd like to make one more comment on this, and then I'm done.
All right.
I'm very impressed with Keystone in many ways, but one of the most important ways is code enforcement is not. I'm sorry. Let me say it this way. Code enforcement is being honestly and evenly distributed throughout this borough. No one is being targeted. It's not used as a sledgehammer. It's not even perceived to be used as a sledgehammer. If it was in the past, whether it was or not, it was perceived in many cases that code enforcement was enforced against people that weren't liked versus people that were. If that was true or not isn't the issue. The issue is that's the perception. And I haven't heard that perception since Keystone took position where they are. And I'm impressed with that, quite honestly.
And there's no reason going forward that if we had our own person that it couldn't be done with integrity and accountability.
It could be, but it's being done with integrity and accountability right now, and changing that, I think, is a mistake.
Well, again, if we can do it with integrity and accountability going forward and reduce the cost, then it's something we need to take a look at on behalf of the taxpayers.
Submit the information.
Will do.
Anyone else? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Happy New Year, everyone.
We're adjourned.